What's up? Jake and I are back on a Tuesday afternoon. We're going to break down a handful of Packers plays live, talk about them. So yesterday, in case you missed it, we interviewed AJ Bocchini on the show yesterday. He's a very avid basketball fan and coach. He's dealing with cerebral palsy, but it doesn't stop him from coaching basketball, which he absolutely loves to do. You can tell it when just listening to him talk. So we interviewed him yesterday. Definitely got some good things from that. So definitely check that out on yesterday's live video that we did. Today, though, we're talking about the Packers. Jake said he wants to exclusively make fun of the Vikings.
Yeah.
I mean, they're outside of the Packers. None of the NFC North teams this week looked very good.
No, I mean, the Bears squeaked out a win last night against a terrible Vikings team that was doing everything they could to lose that game. They then, the week prior, they played the Lions and they lost a game that nobody else has ever lost in NFL history. So the Bears are just nowhere near competitive. Not as close as their fans think they are. They still got a lot of holes in that roster. The Lions are a good young team, but the Lions are not and should not be in the discussion for contenders because they're not.
Right.
I mean, you can have as many good players as you want. Look at the 49ers, man. That roster is loaded, right? They just didn't have the quarterback for how many years. And that's how I feel about the Lions. The Lions have a very good roster, a lot of good players, a lot of young players in some spots, but they're a quarterback away. And that's hard to do when you have to pay all these guys and the quarterback costs $30 million a year. I mean, it's hard to do. You got to get a good young one and then build your roster around that. I mean, Packers might be doing that right now. And as far as the Vikings go, man, they're gonna have to take a page out of the Packers book, in my opinion, and they're just gonna have to, take their lumps, go super young, and just hope that the talent develops. That's what they're gonna have to do, and it's hard to do that when you have a guy like a Justin Jefferson who is a young superstar in the NFL. But you gotta be able to build from the ground up, and you gotta make sure that foundation's good. And the Packers just did it right. They had to bite the bullet this year, and we're reaping the rewards the last couple weeks. As the Packers offense has really looked good. We've won 3 out of 4. We're averaging almost 400 yards a game the last 4 weeks. The young wide receivers are really starting to develop. Is your next guest going to be Jordan Love or Joe Barry? Either or. I would love either or, to be completely honest with you. I would love Jordan Love because he seems like a tremendous young man. And I would love Joe Barry just to kind of give some perspective on the kind of guy that he is. I think that he's a lot more interesting than people can give him credit for.
Oh yeah, and we've talked about it actually a couple times. Like he's actually had some really interesting quotes and things that I actually like listening to him say. On the subject of the Lions specifically, I think sure you could say they're a quarterback away. We actually talked about this a little bit the other day that Jordan Love now has fewer turnovers than Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Jared Goff has 3 interceptions and 3 fumbles in his last 2 games. He has 11 turnovers. Jordan Love only has 10.
Yeah.
So that, and then for me, for the Lions to be in the contender conversation, they have to beat a good team.
Yep.
Not a Travis Kelce list Chiefs by 1 point. They need to beat an actual good team.
Agreed. And Chris Jones lists. People always leave that part out.
Yeah. And won by 1 point.
Right.
Okay. So this first play, this is a Christian Watson catch, and I got to give him credit just for holding on to this football.
Man.
So the first play of the game was obviously 53 yards, but this catch to me is almost more impressive.
I agree with that. I think his touchdown catch was insane, dude. What body control.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, that touchdown pass was unguardable. I mean, Love threw it in the only spot where his guy was going to get it, and Christian Watson used all 6'5".
Yeah. And plenty of blue behind him on the touchdown reception too. So he had the space that he needed. He didn't have to try to toe tap or anything. Now, Jordan Love, don't get me wrong, absolutely fantastic on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
If this throw is a half a second sooner, Watson is able to brace for the contact. And I get that. That's part of progressions. That's part of the route combination. I get that. and we're really, really nitpicking to even bring it up. But
Right.
half a second sooner, Watson gets a little fewer bruises.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
He'll be all right.
He
He
has 10
seemed all
days
right.
off.
Like I said, it almost more impressive to me than the first catch of the game just by holding on to this football.
Yeah, be able to take the contact. I will say that Tracy Walker had a rough game, man. He was getting kind of beat up and picked on.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, next one I want to call on here is, man, I watched this probably 100 times since I noticed what I noticed. This is Tucker Kraft's touchdown. Just let it play out. Just notice if you notice what I noticed. Now that I said the word notice 11 times.
Ship and release? What are you looking at?
Okay, to your credit, you called for plays like this. You've called for plays like this for a good while before even the Luke Musgrave touchdown where he had the block and release.
Yeah.
My thing is, watch what Tucker Kraft does to Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah. Tucker Kraft, man, I'm being so serious. This tight end duo is going to be something serious in a few years, dude.
Okay, so Tucker Kraft, the Packers' first game without Luke Musgrave, he played 96% of snaps. And he babies Aiden Hutchinson on this. So right now, they're standing each other up. He just rips past them. Literally rips past them and throws Aiden Hutchinson off balance. Hutchinson, you can tell, is kind of acting or seeming like he believes that Tucker Kraft is staying in to block on this play. So he's pushing nothing but forwards. And then Tucker Kraft goes sideways and Hutchinson has to catch himself.
Hutchinson hasn't been very good the last couple of weeks, in my opinion. He had a really hot start to the season. He's kind of pulling a Zadarius Smith on everybody here.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, had to put that one on there. Not only that, but for the fact that was also Tucker Kraft's first career touchdown, which is awesome.
Man, how hype was everybody? You know what I mean?
Man, I was hyped.
Touchdown. I was like, yes! Oh, man,
right,
the game plan was
we're gonna transition with one special teams play. And everybody's, oh, Dan Campbell's biting kneecaps. He's so aggressive. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
Oops. Cody said Ryan was solid against Hutch. Ryan's been solid, and I hope he gets more playing time because the Packers have a decision to make on John Runyon Jr. at the end of the season. So I'd be fine with getting him some more playing time before then.
Look at the hustle by LVN, dude. Look at the hustle.
Hell yeah. I'm glad you called that out because this is a perfect angle to see the hustle.
Man.
He gets behind the play, but as soon as he realizes where the ball is, there's a gap there. If 46 gets the block on who is that? Oh, that's Zane Anderson.
Yep.
If 46 gets that block, there's a lane there that he could get through.
There is.
But LVN doesn't let that happen.
Nah, not in my house.
Okay. So you noticed LVN's hustle on this. I want to know, did you notice one other thing on this play? We've talked about it so many times, and it's been so rare.
Well, setting the edge for one. That's the first thing.
That's it. Thank you. Kingsley Enagbare set an edge.
Yo, Enagbare has been playing with a little bit of an edge, to these last couple of weeks, man. He's been playing kind of angry, and I love to see it.
Look at that. Look at Kingsley Enagbare setting an edge, turning this play back upfield.
And I got a question. It could be rhetorical. I don't care. What world do you live in where you're getting your ass whooped all day, you're turning the ball over, and you go for it at your own 23, 4th and 5 with a fake punt? No, you know what I mean? I understand being aggressive, but at a certain point, you hurt yourself being too aggressive, So that was this play call is terrible. I hate
Darian said Sean Ryan needs to start more often, or even just alternate series like they're doing with Nyman and Walker. Keep experimenting with it. And that's not to say that John Runyon Jr. hasn't done anything good because he's certainly had his days. But Bill said there's a fine line between amazing and questionable. That fake punt was a pretty questionable call. And then Cody said that's where he's supposed to go with that. I get that's where he's supposed to go with that. Like, you can see the couple lines that Greg Olson drew when he's talking about it. But let's just say that Enigbari doesn't take that block upfield and Enigbari gets sealed towards the inside of the field. That run's going for 40 yards. Like, I'll stop it right here. If Enigbari doesn't get this block upfield, if he gets his body turned in the other direction, this dude's going around the outside and he's gone.
Yeah, he's going to be running for a little while.
And it's Nixon and I can't tell who that is running along. But if this is Nixon as the punt blocker or the gunner blocker and Reed back to return this punt, which I'm not sure who it was because that's not what this play is about. But you're essentially looking at the punt returner and this one-on-one block between whoever these two guys are and the ball carrier. So that set edge by Enigbari was absolutely necessary to make this play.
Oh, that's Rochelle. Is that 22?
Robert Rochelle. He had a sneaky good game, actually, to be honest with you, because he made a couple special teams tackles too.
He did. I think all three areas were hitting on all cylinders pretty much.
I think we'll probably talk about this on Friday. You won't be there, but Simon Bryant and I'm sure we will talk about it. Probably, I shouldn't even say probably. It was the most complete game the Packers have played this season.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, shouldn't even say probably. All right. 95 or 97?
Let's do 97 first.
Man, this is borderline disrespectful.
Oh my
Bro.
God. Let's go for a walk.
Oh my. Dude,
Good
the Lions
Lord.
have a good offensive line.
They
You
do.
wouldn't have been able to tell by watching them play the Packers on Thursday. They have a good offensive line.
They do. They have, I said they were the best. So
I'd
between
say
them
they're
and the
second
Eagles-
best.
Them and the Eagles.
It's the Eagles, yeah, for me.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
It's like 3 weeks ago, Kenny Clark had a bad game. I think it was the Steelers game. Kenny Clark had a bad game against the Steelers, and then he just became a one-man wrecking crew.
He is walking
Damn.
that man backwards, dude.
This goes from the 12-yard line. Reggie said that's a bad man. This goes from the 12-yard line. He walks him all the way back to like the 8.
Bruh.
5, 10, yeah, about the 8.
Jesus.
Sorry,
Christ.
this is the 17-yard line, not the 12. I'm looking at the wrong number here. So it goes from the 17-yard line to
It's about the 8-yard line.
about the 9 or 8-yard line.
Yeah.
So you're talking about just straight bull rushing a dude 8 yards straight on his heels. Just 8 yards on his heels the entire way.
Jesus.
Cody made a great point. He said this is a perfect example of why sacks aren't a tell-all stat for pass rush. That is absolutely true.
I think hurries are a bigger stat, in my opinion.
I like pressures.
Pressures, hurries, yeah.
Because that, to me, I like pressures because what it does is it can give two guys credit on the same play.
That's fair.
Like, say Kenny Clark makes this play, but Gary's also coming around the edge, giving both of them a pressure on a ball that gets thrown away because a guy is just trying to avoid a sack or a turnover.
Mm-hmm.
To give both of them credit for beating their blocks, I like pressures. Okay, this play, not unlike the previous one, just involves a Packers defensive lineman just mauling a guard.
We did that a lot on Thursday. Look at this. Dude, Devontae Wyatt was really good on Thursday. He looked like a first-round pick.
When I saw him walk into the locker room, I'm like, please don't let him be hurt. And I said the concussion evaluation. And then he was cleared. I'm like, thank you. Because, like, he's made a lot of progress.
He is. He's been really good this year.
His pass rush win rate is insane.
Yeah, is he still top 5? Last I checked, he was top 5.
I'm gonna look it up.
What's up, Daniel?
Let's see. Blocking win rate. Pass rush win rate. Oh, there we go. Defensive tackle. Kenny Clark is 18. Not seeing him on this list. I don't know why. Pass rush win rate. That's for edge. That's for defensive tackle.
I was trying to find it too. I can't find it.
Interior offensive line. Edge run stop.
I swear to God, he was top 5 last time I saw it.
I'm just gonna look up what he is on the season just to see what his pass rush win rate is on the season. Go to Green Bay. Defense.
Look at my man Jonathan Owens, dude. He was a dog on Thursday.
Oh, just wait. I have a Jonathan Owens play for you.
He was a dog.
Oh, Devondre Campbell actually has the highest win percentage. He obviously hasn't played a whole lot, but so Rashawn Gary's is 28%. That's fucking ridiculous.
That is.
Devontae Wyatt is second on the Packers at 19.2%.
It's pretty damn good.
Isaiah McDuffie is next at 18.2. Might need to send him on some blitzes a little more often.
Really? Wow.
And
I think.
Kenny,
go ahead.
Kenny Clark is next.
Okay.
Kenny
I would
Clark's
really
at
like it if we could have 2 inside
Carl
linebackers
Brooks
this
is at
week.
14.1. Preston Smith is at 13.2. And Igbari 11.3.
I think Igbari had a rough start to the year, but he's been pretty damn solid the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, you mentioned Jonathan Owens, and he easily his best game as a Green Bay Packer. This is the play that stood out to me the most from him.
Yeah, baby.
To have Penei Sewell running at you and still be able to tackle Amon-Ra St. Brown in the backfield, that's what some veteran presence does. Reggie said dog. Hey. He absolutely played like a dog.
He was playing tough. The whole Packer defense was like, nah. And I love hearing from Jordan Love. I love hearing from Love about how they had this game circled. That, to me, that is the power of motivation, dude. That is the power of will, the power of, being mentally focused. I mean, they wanted this one. They came after the Lions. They were like, all right, we're sick and tired of getting punked by you guys. It's time for us to get our lick back.
Jordan Love said we had their number.
Love that. Yeah, they smoked them.
Cody said Clark killed their left guard too if Goff kept that ball.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Let's see if you can see it on this angle. Yep, he's already right past them. If Goff were to fake this screen and turn around,
look at they're doubling freaking Gary, dude. I don't understand why we don't just have Gary and Clark next to each other at all times. It makes it almost impossible to block, dude.
Put Slayton, Wyatt, and Preston Smith on the other side.
Man,
sheesh.
I mean, even Brooks. Brooks has been really good in one-on-one situations.
Brooks has been awesome. Reggie said, got the run the table vibes. Don't want to get excited, but sheesh. We'll talk next week. We'll talk next week.
We will.
Because Kansas City is still Kansas City.
They are. I mean, they're not like, holy shit, we're playing the Chiefs, but they still have that Super Bowl experience. Rashawn Gary is a stud. I agree, Greg.
Greg, I respect you for coming in here. Greg is a Lions fan, for those that don't know. So I respect Greg for coming in here. And Greg has been very kind to our show. So
Greg is straight up just a good dude. Like, we can just call it what it is. Greg's a good guy. Sucks that he's a Lakers fan, but
okay, I don't like Greg anymore.
Well, Yeah, Greg's going through a rough time after what the 76ers did to him.
Greg said I'm here to take my licks. Hey,
Hey,
you've
Greg,
been nothing but nice to us this year, so we can return the favor.
we had to take our licks after the first one, man.
Right. Okay. So this is Rashawn Gary's 3 sacks. Now, my thing with this is Barry said a little hint on the weather so far, maybe snow. Great. Okay. This is the second sack that Rashawn Gary gets. Now, after he gets this sack, he turns around and he's doing this, like he wants it counted as a sack. What does that make you think of?
And one?
That, sure.
What
To
else?
me, it's when Brooke Lopez gets like a tip on a block and he does this. He's like, he needs the statistician to know that he got a block. That's Rashawn Gary going like this. Like, I need a sack.
I always think of like count it, like and one.
That's fair. Greg said the Lakers looked bad last night. Yeah, they did. When they lose by like 44.
Yeah. LeBron set the minutes record, but the Lakers lost by 44 to the Sixers.
And then this is Rashawn Gary's 3rd sack, but the pursuit on this is disgusting.
Good God. Taylor Decker had a long day.
I love when he comes like charging, just arms straight out. I love it. It's so fun.
Man.
So, Jonathan Owens again, dog.
Straight up.
It's a touchdown.
Look at Anthony Johnson.
Barry said, boom goes the dynamo. Yeah, Anthony Johnson Jr. had a great time. And I had to put the fumble thing on there because every single time the ball gets fumbled, I scream fumble. My kids are like, do you have to do that? I'm like, I can't help it.
Yeah, I do it too.
It just comes out.
I won't lie. I don't yell fumble. I say, get the ball, get the ball, get the ball.
No, I yell fumble like Mike Singletary in that NFL 100 commercial. Every time.
Great commercial, by the way.
It is.
Making me relive that in my head.
But man, Rashawn Gary on this. Just bends around the edge. Oh. This is why you pay this man.
Man.
I do it too. But this is absolutely 100%.
Bro, you're so lucky, Reggie. Somebody, who the hell?
Reggie's just excited I'll be at the game, so I don't have to hear about Taylor Swift all game. Bro, picture this, because we're in a situation where I don't know why my picture is frozen, but can you still hear me?
Yeah.
All right, we got that at least. Okay, so Taylor Swift and Simone Biles are going to be in the same stadium on Sunday.
Yeah, that's going to be wild. They're going to be showing both of them, and all I want to do is just watch football. So, I think it was Sunday Night Football posted it. No, it wasn't. It was a Packer group, but they were like, is Taylor Swift going to be at the game on Sunday? And I'm like, I really don't care. Like, I don't. I just want to watch the damn game. Not tuning in to hear about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, okay?
Yeah. What I'll say is, on the subject of it, that's not even what I'm worried about, but it is what it is. Greg said you and the Bears might have set up a playbook on how to own the Lions or contain the Lions. You guys actually executed enough to destroy us, though. The thing is that it comes down to the last 4 minutes of the game where the Bears just completely fell apart.
Well, that's what happens when you don't have a quarterback that can make a throw. You still have to be able to throw the
ball. Cody said we made Goff play QB, LOL, not game manage, not running the ball. Exactly.
Dude, I was going to wait to say something until I went live. I'm going live on Thursday to talk about some stuff. But I wanted to talk about how Goff was good. And people always talk about, when I give Lions fans shit, I'm like, Goff is not the guy. He's not the guy to bring you over the top. Like, this offensive line is good. This defense flies around. When they're playing with confidence, that's a good defense. But they have enough weapons on the outside. Sam Laporta is going to be an absolute problem for a lot of years. There's going to be a lot of good tight ends in the NFC North in the next 5 years. Not so much. I know the Vikings are good. The Bears, the Bears probably got the worst one. Cole Kmet's probably the worst one. I'm not going to lie to you. I may be a homer on that one, but I believe in Luke Musgrave's potential over his. But the thing about Goff is, like, he was so good in LA when they would run the ball, and that's why they made the Super Bowl. But then when you take away the run, how does he look? He turns the ball over, right? Like, I brought up that stat last Friday about how he has the second most turnovers in the NFL since 2018. So, I mean, that's just who he is.
Greg said, I'm disappointed in Hutch this year. At this point, Gary is the better player from U of M. I'll say this, Greg. I made a Rashawn Gary apology form last year, and I put that people were saying that Aiden Hutchinson was better than Rashawn Gary on it, and I took a lot of flack for it. Maybe I have to reshare it.
Hutchinson obviously has all the potential, right? He has all the tools. He's big.
He's
fast,
a monster.
strong.
There's no denying it.
He's gonna be a monster. The thing about these young players, and Packers fans had to learn this year. Not so much me and you, Tyler, because we have brains in our heads. But a lot of people have to understand that the thing for young players is, first of all, growing and reaching that potential, and then finding the consistency, being able to do that week after week after week. And that's the thing that people took for granted, with a Devontae Adams, with a Jordy Nelson, with a Aaron Rodgers, with lots of people like that. I mean, Clay Matthews. I mean, I won't lie. I don't think I appreciated him enough. I did not appreciate Clay Matthews enough.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
But that's the thing that people have to learn. And Hutchinson, he's obviously had some boom games. He's had some bust games, but he's got to find that consistency standpoint, and he'll get there. I believe that he'll get there. Hopefully not wearing that blue, but he'll get there.
Last thing I'll say on the young players is we don't get to these Lions games on day one.
Agreed.
This game where people are playing this where like, oh, if we hadn't lost to the Broncos, if we hadn't lost to the Raiders, if we hadn't lost to the Falcons, we're not in this position if we don't lose those games.
They had to learn.
Nothing happens by changing the past. There's nothing that happens. That done and over with. The only thing you can change is the future. So those things happened. Now the only thing you can do is control how you react to it. So the Packers had those losses, which motivated them to continue getting better, to continue working, to get to this point where they were prepared to beat the hell out of the Lions. Like the Lions did to the Packers in week 4. That's why this game was circled. That's why they felt this way about this game. They went through some tough times. You make the mistakes, then you learn from them. That's what young teams do.
And if I could flip this to life, you listen to any successful person, millionaires, there's tons of books about it, right? They all talk about, taking your lumps, taking your struggles, taking your failures, and don't look at them as failures, but look at them as learning experiences. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Greg said you guys will be a good team. I know it. And we believe it. It's just the thing is there's so much, and I hate to bring this phrase back up, but it rings true so much is the instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And it needs to go away because people they don't want to go through the adversity. They just want to skip to the end result where everything is great.
Yep.
And it doesn't work like that.
Nope. I appreciate the Bucs so much more because we had to go through those lean years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember having Monte Ellis and Brandon Jennings as our backcourt. That was exciting times for us at one point in our life, Tyler. I mean, we used to get up in the morning and be like, yeah, I'm going to watch the Bucs tonight with Charlie Villanueva and Carlos Delfino. Like, what?
Earl Boykins
in his shorts that are clearly not made for a 5'5" man.
Greg said 3 teams I never called in the NFC because they're really well-run franchises: Niners, Cowboys, Packers.
Yeah, yeah. Hell was exciting. Hey, man. Dude, when they used to do the tacos for 100 points, oh, man, those were the best games. It would suck when they would get stuck on like 98 or something like that. It's like, come on, score 100. But to Greg's comment, you could say the Cowboys aren't well run, but the matter of the fact is that they have a high winning percentage in the regular season. They don't beat good teams in the playoffs, which obviously they get picked on for. I pick on them as well. But Cowboys, Niners, and Packers are, very good franchises who have long, rich histories of winning. So
yeah,
that's all you can say about that. I hate the Niners and I hate the Cowboys. I'll admit it right now. I don't like those guys. I want us to be number one. But the matter of the fact is we fight with them for media attention.
Barry said it's going to be a hard ride with the Brewers as well next year. I don't think it is. You look at how many young players contributed where the Brewers got last year. I don't think it's going to be a hard ride. And, it's unfortunate that the Brewers are without Brandon Woodruff, but they were going to be anyways. And they spent most of last season without Brandon Woodruff.
They did.
Well, it might not be ideal, and there might be a lot of new faces on the Brewers this year, but I don't think we're necessarily in for a hard ride. But we're going to talk about some of those guys. Actually, at the end of December, we're going to have the Biloxi Shuckers, the AA media guy, on the show, actually, to talk about some of the Brewers prospects. Greg said one of these days when I get time, I'll school Jake on the Glenn Robinson, Vin Baker days.
I would love nothing more to hear about basketball when I was 5 years old. That would be amazing.
Reggie said, I'll call the Cowboys when they beat someone good. That's fair.
I mean, that is fair. But in the regular season, they win a lot of games,
Yeah,
and they're
they're a
always
good
on
regular
TV.
season team. All right. Well, thanks for hopping on with us for a while to break down some Packers plays and have a little discussion. We appreciate people commenting on the show. Greg for being a good sport, even though his Lions lost. Jake and I are going to be back tomorrow with Mike to break down the Badgers getting the axe back. Badgers basketball team winning a couple more games, and hopefully we have 3 Milwaukee Bucks wins to talk about tomorrow. They have one more game tonight for their in-season tournament, and if they win it, they clinch, I believe, their group, which I think
They do. No Jimmy Butler tonight, so let's get it done.
Yeah, get it done. The point differential is already pretty much on lock unless the Bucks somehow lose by 40. But Barry's excited for Friday night shows. Barry, Jake's going to do his live on Thursday, actually, to go through his notes. So Jake won't be with us on Friday because he decided that family was more important, which it is. We're always a family first show. So.
Yeah, what a selfish guy, huh?
All righty. Well, I will see you tomorrow then. Thanks again, everybody.
Yeah, take care, guys.